Now about the police paranoia pertaining to the surveillance. It was sometimes in the year was sometimes 2000 and I am trying to figure out maybe 99, something like that, 98, whatever. I will not figure out. And it was always about um, paranoia pertaining to the video surveillance and so on. Surveillance. And that was actually Elon Musk in 98 that talked about the paranoia and so on. We're going to cut that 98, whatever the hell that was about. But I remember Elon Musk talking about the paranoia, completely useless junker. Do you know how far this paranoia have grown? The paranoia have grown over the years to the company that you see right there, Kirka Pharmaceutical, right there in front of you. Where they had me in a labs, maybe in that lab right there. I have no idea if that's even a lab. It's possible that because it's about the novel Master Police, they had me in a completely different building. Who the fuck knows? I have not seen anything. They were talking to me about to look, so on. They did have some kind of projector on the wall that they claimed supposedly would demonstrate them how it is inside of the house here. Yeah, we had this kind of stuff when that part of the building came up, and that came very late. Sometimes in I don't know what the year was when this like a new portion of the factory right there. I don't know when that was. Maybe I don't actually even dare to guess what year was it. I don't know. I didn't pay attention to this stuff. I was busy doing other stuff, and I really should have. Beginning like, let me see, because this was 2014, they started to claim that, bring me inside and claim me that it's 2013 maybe even, once they dumped me in the psychiatric hospital, started to claim that it's this stuff, when it pertains to MK Ultra. Let me explain to you something. Stuff that I say to you, what year was it and so on, is completely non-essential in this case. If I said to you right now it was in 2000, that would be too bad. But if I said to you it was in 2010 and they built this in, I don't know, 2014 or 2015 or whatever it was, if it was like this, there would be nothing wrong with me. You would have a police say, no, this building did not exist yet in 2010 or... but that doesn't matter, because in MK Ultra, take you to another location. And you're going to have people 20 years ahead before something exists start to brainwash you. Let's say in this case that they see you inside of the house. How the fuck are they see you inside of the house? It's impossible. It's walls here. It's walls. By the way, they did acknowledge them as an attempt to do the paranoia with this stuff. They did. They did this stuff. They acknowledged them trying to disseminate paranoia. And so why would that be? Well, because they know it's going to be a project one day. And when that project comes, they already know how it's going to look inside, more or less. And so they connect these issues and they try to confuse on timing. So if I said that this was already even if I would say this was in 2000, this building, from the point of MK Ultra crime investigation, that is not incorrect statement. If I was an investigator, I would say correct. Tell me more about it. I would not be interested in police officers saying, oh no, this did not exist in 2000. It doesn't matter. If it existed, it doesn't exist in 2000. It exists now. It exists now. And that's good enough for me as a proof. As simple as this. So we're talking about the paranoia here. The first what they did was they claimed they have a cameras outside, that they have a cameras in the garden, all kinds of stuff, that they have cameras and so on, that there's a camera and camera and camera and camera. This was the first location right there, that chimney right there that you see, the factory chimney. Shit, it's raining and you can actually not, oh yeah, you can see it. Oh, there you go. This was the first about MK Ultra and video recording the terrace and everything around and so on. Is that like a possibility? Yes, of course it is. When they had me inside in there, they presented me with a telescope. Was it inside in there? Fuck, I don't know. I had no fucking idea. They had me inside in there, and I actually think that the area that I have seen might not even be the stuff I'm talking about. That right there, that you see right there, let me demonstrate you. That one right there, that stuff right there. That's supposed to be like a lab up there, and on the side they had like video projector and a telescope inside and stuff like that. That does make sense? To me, none. It's called a paranoia from Novo Mesto police station. This is the stuff that went on. But how they make people believe, or how they try to do this stuff with me. Well, the way they did this stuff with me was, for instance, I had a mama coming here through the other day. I was in the kitchen, and she came through this door. And she walked right out, and went out right here. And when she was inside, she held a piece of the fruit. Frozen papaya, I don't know. It's not papaya. It's actually, I don't even know what the fuck it is. Asemina. It's called asemina. Frozen. She took that from the fridge, and it was from the last year. She brought it up. And everybody involved in MK Ultra, whenever she would do this, started to look at her strange, because it looked like a meat. And it was a tremendous paranoia that went on during MK Ultra. By the way, this psychiatrist, Peter Kops, was so fucking paranoid, together with neighbors, with police officers. They were so paranoid that when they would see the lights behind, like through the glass door, that when the cars would go, and anywhere they would see the lights, they would be completely stressed out about. These people were actually sure that they're going to come to pick them up at any time. That's how lucky these people were inside of this house, since this house came to existence. Nobody ever came to pick them up. That's a luck. When you're a criminal, a police officer, and you know you're lucky that nobody came to pick you up. That's fucking luck, man. So I said to my mom, Mom, hey, what is this? And it was based on MK Ultra scenario. Right now it's all green, and you don't get to see the house. The house is somewhere like this, but when it's winter time, as my mom did, this is not green. Stuff is not green. You can see right through, you know? And based on MK Ultra scenario, as soon as I walked out from right behind her when I came, it was the guy who was right in the kitchen, right from there, who started to insist, if you're gonna come like this after the mama, I'm gonna do something to remind you. And what they did is they started to fuck with the ambulance sirens, with the police siren. So I video recorded the whole thing. I didn't put on the internet. And so I did go after the mom to see what is this with this asemina. This is a fruit of asemina, frozen, that she had. And as soon as I came through the door right there, it was, you know, that's how we do the paranoia, based on MK Ultra scenarios. They brainwash, basically. So they create dots. That was one of the dots, and then they claimed across the Kirka River that they watching the house and so on. They took me to the other side of the Kirka River, to the people across the river, to meet them, go up there into the attic areas to meet people, and converse with the people and claim the people in front of me that they are video recording them. And police, investigators from Novo Mesto police station, this is the way it was during MK Ultra. They know that you're video recording us and so on. This guy lives right next to the Kos, Gustilna. It's called Gustilna Kos. And he insisted that I will be the one for sure meeting him and so on, due to so on. So how do they do this stuff? Well, the other day I was just doing the stuff. I just came from the walk, and the only thing I did was I opened the window. The windows are not allowed to be open. As soon as the windows are open, it's shit. It's sirens. It's the neighbors that start to cut the grass. It's the mom that start to cut the grass. Everything go fucking insane. It's a neighbor that's going to go and start to vacuum the car and stuff. Exactly according to MK Ultra scenarios, every fucking thing. If that, the worst was from the Kirka Pharmaceutical. They were leaving the sound, whatever the fuck they were doing. Some kind of releasing some kind of gases and so on. Started to bang, bomb, 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 doing completely crazy stuff all over the place. Yeah, you would have people running around with tractors and so on. This is how I was inside of this room here that you see. They infested one with the moths. They literally infested one with the moths according to MK Ultra. 3x3 prison, literally prison cell for my entire fucking life. It's the first time I am practically inside of this room. Keep you locked, sealed in a fucking summer day. You're doing your stuff through this so-called human rights agencies, and they are really happy because you're dying right there in front of their eyes. They're fucking killing you. Talking about United Nations, ICC, European Court for Human Rights, U.S. Justice Department of State. I am not going to go into this European, so-called European Commission. I don't want to go into a European ombudsman that were involved directly in the torture and so on. Don't want to get into that stuff. If this case ever comes out, then you're going to see the degree of the criminality and what this world is made out of. And then you're going to see that this world is made out of absolutely nothing other than crime, killing. The way they did this stuff is that, well, let's say I came home the other day. It's also recorded, this stuff. The only thing that, as soon as I opened the door here and I sat inside, it was that was the neighbor, Dana Collins, that started. The one who took a great pleasure of the pain of the psychiatric pills that I couldn't walk, I couldn't move jaws, had uncontrollably saliva running out of my mouth. I couldn't talk. I had difficulty to move my jaws. I couldn't even sleep straight. Not gonna say on the right side, on the left side, which it was all the time like it's gonna burst my heart. This is the way it was. This is this psychiatric pills or whatever they were giving me that I had to swallow. So scenario had that they would be looking at from the Kirka Pharmaceutical. This is what they brainwashed. And as a door would be open, that they will have ability to see through where I sit inside with a telescope, that they can see everything inside. Literally demonstrated me how they can do that from the Kirka Pharmaceutical. The primary they were concentrated claimed me that they are cameras outside and so on and so forth. This is what this shit is. I mean, Novo Mesto police, it's hilarious when you have somebody like Miran Sudin, who was used by Milan Kučan to witness every crime. Not every crime, not always every, but most of the crimes, and was the repertoire for Ljubljana. Another one was Stefanic here from Novo Mesto, Štefanić na ovo mesto, or Miran Sudin, and or both witnessed crimes, so they could report them to Kuch and to Ljubljana and so on, to these politicians in Ljubljana. And so him writing about a paranoia, he wrote about a paranoia, that it was a paranoia on October the 30th, when there was no paranoia nowhere. That's fucking insane. It's not about whether Slovenia lost this case. No, this is about how much more damage Slovenia can do with. No, it's not on not with the permission of the UN, ICC, U.S. Justice Department of State, European Court, European Commission. It's on behalf of them. It's on their behalf. You understand? It's on their behalf because they work together all along. This isn't about whether Slovenia lost this case. This is about some completely other issues. This is about issues that involve the so-called Western allies that are fascinated about how much damage, actually how much Slovenia can do more for them. That's what this shit is all about. They did for Slovenia when I was in the US, just as George Bush said. Kaj je, mama? You came here, tle si prišla me zelo grdo gledati. Kaj je narobe? This isn't about Slovenia. How about, what if every fucking sane person knows that nobody would have a knowledge like I have about the stuff like this if this shit would not happen? This is just a matter of how much more Slovenia can do for them. That's what this shit is about. Okay, let's finish this video. It's like this. As you see the factory right there in front of you, right from the terrace right here, we come like this, zig, 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 and we zoom ourselves into, that's a factory right there. Okay, they do watch the house. They do watch from there. This is not a bullshit. This is not imagination. However, right where you see this side here, and then you see that window, that is the window I was talking to you about. I was told it's where they're gonna be watching this from. No, they don't. They do watch it from there though. Look at it. Make my word for it. Let me see if I can. Okay, they do watch from there. They 100% watch. Do you know why I know that they watch? Because they rehearsed more than on one occasion with me, signaling. They watch, and this is without any fucking doubt that I have proof actually. All these people that work there were involved in it, but this isn't the point. The point is that, you see, what you don't see right there is actually damn big. It's huge. I can't find this binocular that I would use to zoom into to demonstrate you, but it's big fucking place right there, and you just don't see it properly like this. But what they did for me, these people, they reminded me of MK Ultra promises on how they will be watching from there straight into the kitchen. This is the kitchen right there. This is our kitchen right there from the terraces I am. Yeah, and they 100% do watch. I know so 100% because they more than on one occasion have signaled me with the lights. Tick, 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 tick. Okay, you don't do the stuff like this if you don't want to signal somebody. And this was actually the stuff they told me they will do. So one location where they surveillance also the house, the kitchen area, from where they can see it, and Mother makes sure that, look at it, You can see through there, right? You can see through. You see this here? You can see it right inside. You have a good telescope, you can see me cooking in there. You see it? Mother put this kind of curtains that you can see it inside. So one location, okay, one location, make no mistake about it, is the Kirka Pharmaceutical, that they are surveillance in the house right from there, and they did signaled. They did signaled me at night time. Tick, 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 and I forgot about it. That's one thing. The second thing is, the guy claimed me that if I would mention what I stated to you earlier about the mom, how, you know, they make the noise, he made the noise when mom did that, and I came after her out on the balcony, they turned the police sirens on. It's all recorded, this stuff. It's all recorded. He told me that I would come with the police there, and then I would identify him and so on and so forth, that kind of stuff. That this would be extremely important for me. And I didn't understand what the fuck is he talking about, that this would be important for me. Now it's leaves and you cannot see anything through, but when there is no leaves, you can see straight through here. This is the way it was back then, and it's all video recorded. But do they surveillance the house? You know, we're talking about Illuminatis here. We're talking about the people that, you know, presidents, royalties, more than anything, we're talking about the police, we're talking about, I don't want to say Ministry of Interior, because I don't even recognize Slovenia as a country or independent nation. And I'm right about it. I am absolutely right about that. I mean, provenly, I'm right about it. If stuff like this would be happening in another country, if this would be happening in Romania, if this would be happening in Hungary, stuff that's happening to me here, if this would be happening in Romania, if this would be happening in Hungary, they would have entire parliament slaughtered in 10 minutes. That I guarantee you. It's stuff like this that goes in Slovenia. See this in a very different way. They see this. I don't even know how I would explain, but not independence. They don't see their statehood as a form of, I don't know what that was about, but I got a screen turning on. They see this in a form of, how the hell can I even explain this stuff? I don't know how I would explain this stuff, you know. I don't know how I would explain this stuff. I analyzed this very thoroughly, what I stated. And I'm not the only person that this is happening to in Slovenia. So the one who was doing this stuff definitely were the people who favored Serbia. People who favored Russia. Definitely were the people who favored, who did this stuff. Since this stuff is not happening to me only, and it's happening also to other people, and since you have the opposition of Milan Kučan involved in it, Janša, Baučar, Peterle, and so on, and they did go, many of them, into economic crime. Yeah, many of them gave their oath to the corruption, and they got caught with the corruption, deliberately so, yes, of course. And I know for fact that the leftists, the so-called leftists, they absolutely, under no circumstances would they allow anything like this that was done to me that would take place to another individual, one of them. If it would be one of the leftists, the so-called leftists, they're not leftists. This is just Serbs, basically, Chetniks, Serbs, ethnic cleansers here in Slovenia that would love nothing more than to make greater Serbia. This is what this is about. You understand? If something like this would be happening to one of them, it would have been whoever would have been doing this stuff, because they control the police, Ministry of Interior, and everything. It would be impossible to do to one of them this kind of stuff. So the stuff I'm talking about is a silent terror, silent repression with a definite goal to take the country back to the Belgrade. Yes? So you agree when I said if something like this would be happening in Romania, or something like this would have happened in a Hungary, because here is, you're talking about the nation. You're talking about the real nation. That's why I said Slovenia is not even a nation. I get pissed off when I say Ministry of Interior. What fucking Ministry of Interior? This is a fucking Serbian province here. This country does not deserve to be addressed as a country. This nation does not deserve to be addressed as a nation, because the way they behave, it's like homeless dogs, basically, like obedient dogs from the Belgrade. Just proven through the calculus to you. Something like this will be happening in Hungary or Romania. You would have, tomorrow, you would have in 10 minutes, you would have people storm the place with the axes. Nobody would walk out alive. Not a single person will walk out alive. This shit is happening in Slovenia. It's a Slavic country, and it's happening because this nation allows it. This isn't about the politicians. This isn't. Unfortunately, this project don't come through the way they should, because they just don't come through, because usually this is what it is. You get excited to put the news on the internet, and that's a big mistake. This case was thoroughly investigated. The stuff I'm talking about here was more than paranoia. Juršić, Stefanic are both going to have to go to the court for this and explain why they have repeatedly investigated Krka Pharmaceutical Company for what they insisted was a surveillance of the house during MK Ultra. There were police cars that went straight to the Krka Pharmaceutical, and they investigated one. The crime that I have spoken about, literally with the Juršić inside of the Krka Pharmaceutical, now Director Juršić inside of the Krka Pharmaceutical, does not go to, let me just see so that I can point out this stuff properly. Does not go to, not to this area, not to that area. It doesn't go to one or the other. It goes to the building that is right there behind that stuff, according to the Juršić. And that was a building that was there way before. So that's what this shit is. Juršić, who took me up there, was using me literally to intimidate people inside. He investigated the whole thing, came to conclusion that it's not possible to have it there, everywhere. This was a big deal, and this goes way back in time. This shit goes to 2007, 2008, and finally when these buildings came up here, this goes to, I don't know what year was it, 2000 and... Who the hell knows? Maybe exactly about that time. That I have to think about when they build this stuff, when they come up with this stuff. But the cars, Pevec, Stefanic, Igor Juršić parked right there, Ogulin, in front of the Krka Pharmaceutical, and they not researched. What the fuck is this? What kind of stuff is this shit? Nobody reported them from my parents that somebody is surveillancing from the Krka Pharmaceutical. You understand me what I'm saying? So Miran Sodin is going to have to explain this with a Kuchan. They came from Ljubljana Park also. Miran Sodin also went inside to do the crime also. He brought the police, his own police from Ljubljana, therefore from Ministry of Interior, and go inside a Krka pharmaceutical. So they're gonna have to explain this stuff. It didn't end just like that. This shit was way more than that. It was much longer than what I initially anticipated. And police heavily investigated. The first time when police cars appeared at a Krka pharmaceutical in respect to this case, stuff I'm talking about here right now, that I recall them, was sometimes in 2000, 99, 98, 2000. That was the first time when the cars from the Krka pharmaceutical. 98, I remember the cars, police, in front of Krka pharmaceutical. This wasn't a one-time deal. Maybe they might have investigated something else. But I noticed that this was a big issue to them, this Krka pharmaceutical, that they were keep coming there, keep coming to the Krka pharmaceutical to do this stuff. It was an ongoing issue. It was an ongoing issue. That means that they might have had somebody from somewhere also the ability to look at them back or something like that. That's what they probably installed. And who knows, that shit might have been who knows where. And it was also the issue they discussed. They discussed about monitoring Krka pharmaceutical even from our house, from the roof and stuff like that. Krka pharmaceutical was involved in this genocide since I was a baby. So weird, strange that if you want to help somebody, you would just not have enough proofs to do so. And this about the Krka pharmaceutical, as I stated, or police station, this is about the collective Slovenian conscience. If something like this would go on in a Romania or a Hungary, the parliaments, they would slaughter every soul inside of one within 10 minutes. And that is, I guarantee you that nobody in the world can afford stuff like this. This is the way it is. Nobody in the world. This is a collective, this is about a collective conscience. This is why I'm never going to recognize Slovenian nation as a nation. Never. It's never going to happen. These are stray dogs that crave for their masters from Belgrade. And they just don't know how to get back to Belgrade. Krka Pharmaceutical was the one in my life. This was the company that lost the market to Yugoslavia when the Yugoslavia fall apart. And they wanted to lynch me because of that stuff. They wanted to get me absolutely killed, even that the whole company was built through my case. And the moment that they lost Serbia, where they could export, and other parts, economically wise, Bosnia, Croatia, and so on, they wanted to fucking kill me. And so Americans substituted them, crime, with new technology and markets and medications that they would not come to produce ever in its entire existence if they were developing this stuff by themselves. This is where my father used to work all his life. He was, it can be said, one of the founders of this company. Andrijanic was the founder of this company. It was exactly the father who hosted officials from other countries fishing. It was exactly the father who worked on the project of wastewater management. And wastewater management to the facility like this is almost 100%. It's almost everything. You don't get anywhere without the wastewater management. He is dying over there on the bed like an animal, left to his own devices over there at home for elderly people. This is what he got for his, there, for that place. That he left his life over there, this is what he got in return. Mother worked her entire life, sister worked her entire life, and I worked since 1972 for that company right there. And I wasn't worth fucking shit to them. They were asking why I left to America, but they forgot how I came to the lobby of that company right there to apply for employment for the job when I finished the school for the mechanic and when I finished the school for mechanical engineer and technician. Treated me like a piece of fucking shit. And I think also, yes, when I came back from the US, even that, in 2006, they have the resumes. Like a fucking shit is what I was. That's a Krka pharmaceutical in Slovenian conscience.